Hi Josh, we're back to play some more vanilla Minecraft. Today we are going to be dealing with villagers. So I thought I would start over here where last episode I reported a massive tragedy. There is news on that front. And it's bizarre news and I can't explain it, but I headed over to the villager breeder area, this glass cell that we've got, and I dropped them a bunch of bread. And I've been letting them breed, and they've been dropping babies into this hole. And I decided to come down here and check on how many babies they had made. And I walked in here, and I found a shit ton of villagers. And I came through and I started checking, and they are the villagers that are missing. And I don't know how they got back here. I didn't put them back here. I didn't roll back the world. That would be a lot of rolling back. How did this happen? I mean, in other news, we're making some serious progress on new villagers. But I have to transport them all again now. What the hell happened? I'm incredibly confused. I'm a little angry, but I'm also very relieved. Because this means that I don't have to breed up and then try to grind for new librarians. I can just move them all back over to the library. And while that is a pain in the ass, it's a much smaller pain in the ass than the grind to get all of the right trades. I'm going to call this a win. I'm going to get them put back into the library at some point. And in the meantime, I'm going to start working on all those guys in that pit behind me. I need to give them all wherever they need to go. We need to put a whole bunch of them up in the monastery, and we've got several other things that we're going to need them for in the near future. So I'm going to keep that breeding pair going, and I'm going to get to work. Here we see the intrepid researcher dropping aphrodisiacs into the enclosure. The aphrodisiacs will make the captive natives amorous. Here you can see the product of the natives. They reproduce almost immediately, but it will take them time to recharge. Oh, watch carefully. There goes a precious baby now. The researcher waits patiently, watching from his blind, like a disturbed voyeur. This is creepy, isn't it? I'm being a fucking creep right now. I know it. I can feel it. It feels creepy. But I gotta know. You make it a baby? I need to see those hearts. They're probably out of food. I'm a real creep. Don't mind me, just flooding a room to hardened concrete. You know, as one does. Let me take a break from this real quick and show you what I've been working on. This is where I'm going to keep all of the clerics. I wanted to give them another taste of the outside. I feel like that's kind of the theme of the interior of this monastery here. And this is where they are all going to work. I will show you where their actual workstations will be once they get that set up, but I need to get a lot more stuff in place first. For now, I just wanted to show you this. So for a better sense of how that place is going to look, we're back in the chapel, and this is the little hidden entrance I've shown you previously. It just comes right back here, and we've got this very neutral entry that sticks with the same color as the altar area of the chapel. And here's where all the clerics are going to work. Up there is where they're going to live. Now, not really. They're all going to live here forever. They're all going to stay here in perpetuity. But this is the living quarters. This is where I've decided that I'm going to build them some chambers where they'll actually sleep. But they'll never sleep because they'll be trapped down here with their workstations. Anyhow, just wanted to give you a little bit of an update and show you what I'm working on right now. And why I have that breeding pair downstairs going absolutely nuts making babies right now. I've been making an effort during this game to use furnace minecarts instead of powered rails when I want to transport villagers, because it's super efficient. I don't have to place redstone all over the place. It's less of a cleanup, and look how super efficient these furnace minecarts are at pushing these villagers uphill. So I had this really cool idea that I was going to move this entire train of villagers from the breeding area, where I turned them into clerics, up to the monastery where they were going to do their work. And I was going to record it as a replay, and then show you several different angles, exactly what's happening right now. I got all 15 villagers up and moving, and when I got up to the top of my house up here, at the very end of the train, I thought, better run inside and check on them. And unfortunately, it turned into a disaster because I planned very poorly. I thought that if I sent them all here to a dead-end rail, they would all just sort of pile up. And unfortunately, they did. As you can see here, one of those furnace minecarts hit the end and kind of stopped everything. And because I decided to go uphill, they all stacked here. Now, if you know anything about entity cramming, you'll know that this is a disaster in the making. And if you just wait patiently for a moment, the disaster is going to play out right before my eyes, because I got here just in time to watch all of those villagers right there on the hill cram and die. Now watch how fast this happens. They're still piling in, and there's no issue until the very last minecart gets there. And I get there at the same time. So, unfortunately, out of 15 clerics that I sent in that train uphill, I have 3 left. And that means that the breeding pair is going to have to be busy for a while yet, because 15 wasn't even half as many as I need. If you look at the place, ignore the fences. That's so that when I take all of the clerics into where they need to be, they don't escape when I let them out of the minecarts. But this is how I've got everything set up. There are 3 chains right here, and a chain overhead. So when they stand here, their workstation goes right here, and they are stuck in this spot because of this chain. So I have tested this in a creative world, and even though it looks like you can just walk right over these chains, and you can escape anytime you want, the villagers do not. Apparently, these chains are enough to keep them rooted in place for all of time. Which is great, because it's very minimalist, it doesn't take up a ton of room, and I don't have to, trap them in cells. I wanted this open feeling where I can just wander around in between the areas and trade with all of the villagers. I love this open area, and I wanted it to seem like you walk into this room and you can just see all of your villagers, and they're all at their workstations doing their thing. And I also wanted it to feel like at any time they could just walk away and come up these stairs to where I'm going to have their quote-unquote living area. So, let me spend several more hours breeding villagers and getting them moved up here, and once I do get everybody in place, I'll give you a further update to show you how cool this is going to look. Those poor villagers in that glass box must be exhausted by now. It's been a long time, and they made a lot of babies, and I transported a lot of villagers, and I blew through an absolute shit ton of carrots. Apparently, carrots are way less effective than, like, bread when it comes to villager breeding, because they go through, I don't know, like a stack of carrots every 2 or 3 villager babies. It's insane. I used so many fucking carrots. But I have to keep farming them and keep giving those guys carrots because I need more villager babies for future projects. So, that's super cool. But hey, at least this one's done. I have traded with all of these guys one time to lock in their trade, and I don't know what each of them is going to have for final trades. That will take a very long time. Did I hear a wandering trader? I do. I'll be with you in a minute, sir. So, I'm going to have to trade with each of these guys a lot to unlock all of their final trades and figure out what they have. I don't know that I'll ever get all of them up to final trade status. This is like 37? 37, I think. 37 or 39. I keep forgetting which. It's a lot of villagers. And even if we spend a shit ton of time just down in the zombie spawner fixing all of our tools and leveling up, and I don't know why we would need that much experience, but even if we spent like a week down there and filled up all those chests, it'd be gone in no time trying to level these guys up. So, we'll see when that happens. In the meantime, though, we have to move on to another project, because making this wall made me realize how difficult it is to get green dye. So I think that I would like to make a cactus farm today. It'll be a small little building, and we'll tuck it somewhere out of the way, and it'll just add to the town. What do you think? Alright, I just fed these idiots some more carrots so that they'll make more babies. Because, like I said earlier, we've got more villager projects that need, employees. Thank you, baby. I decided that we're going to do the cactus farm over here. And that's because I've decided on a motif for the building that's going to disguise it. But before we get to that, let me go show you how this is set up and why I chose this location. The reason for the location is because we have a very convenient place to drop all of our cacti. And that's that hopper right there. The hoppers feed down to a dropper that feeds into the very end of the water channel for the very last of the squid chambers. So all of this is going to feed right under our roads. Here, let me use my little cheaty map. This is the corner of the last squid farm. So all of the cacti will fall in here, get fed into a dropper, and get spit out here, and go all the way along all of these water channels, down under the roads and the wheat fields, and over here to our little bodega. The reason I'm still referring to this as a bodega is because eventually we will have buildings here, and I will make this a little first-story corner shop, and it's going to have more than just the squid ink and the salmon. That's why I'm feeding all of these cacti into it, because I want that to be like our little mini-mart. So I'm going to start feeding things into there as I find things that make sense to fit into the water streams around here. And I'm going to slowly add to it. And if we need to expand that storage area, we will. Now the reason I chose this size is because I can put 1 bucket of water here, and it perfectly feeds to this corner. So anything that falls in here will get swept into that hopper. Also, I can fit 4 cacti growing right here, and then tile them upward. And they should pop off, and if I grow this inner wall here high enough, all the cactus that doesn't pop off and immediately despawn by landing on another piece of cactus will hit these walls, drop down into the water stream, and go over there. I'm not worried about making this farm lossless, because this will always be running, because crops are always growing. The way this works is, right above the water stream, we put some fences, and on top of each fence, we put a piece of sand. 2 blocks above each piece of sand, we put another fence post. And then, when any of these cacti grow, they can't be next to something, so they'll pop off. 2 blocks above each cactus, I'm going to put another fence post, so that I can put another piece of sand, and repeat the process. And now the cactus farm is effectively done. The only things that I have left to do now are build this inner wall tall enough that the cactus will never pop off and land on top of the wall, and then build up the masking structure. I hope you don't mind that I've put so many time lapses in today's episode, and I also hope that you don't mind that I skipped on the music today. I had this idea in my head when I started the villager train that I was going to use yakety sax because I thought it was hilarious that I was moving all those villagers and they were being such a pain in the ass, and, you know, villagers are really finicky. Turns out yakety sax is not in open domain, so I can't use it, and that's fine, but for some reason my stubborn brain just decided no music today, and that's what we're rolling with. So I thought that I would just kind of talk through this time lapse. The idea that I had for this masking structure is a corner clinic, because we've got the residences right here, these 3 apartment towers, and, you know, we're trying to tell a story of a town area, or a city, or, you know, at the very least a village. And it felt like you've got to have all of the normal infrastructure for town or city life, right? And so a medical clinic makes sense. I couldn't really think of anything that made sense to go with a cactus farm, so I just decided to tell a story with it. And here we are. Welcome to the Corner Clinic. I hope you like it. I'm a big fan of this building. And now I feel like we should go over to the corner bodega and... Hello, kitty cat! Oh, a little Persian. I feel like we should go over to the bodega and check out how much cactus has already come through the system. Keep in mind, that time-lapse that I recorded was only 15 minutes or so raw. So it's a really short recording, hence the reason why it was such a short time-lapse. But I do not expect there to be very much cactus in here. I just want to give it a shot and see how we're looking after only 15 minutes. Oh, those are mine. Don't mind those. Oh, jeez. I'm going to have to keep a very close eye on our axolotls, aren't I? 5 cactus in 15 minutes is actually pretty good. For a farm that we designed not to be lossless, and that is only 8 cacti strong, 5 cactus over the course of 15 minutes is pretty fucking solid. I'm really happy with that. Now, every time we're doing stuff around here, building the next structure, over here-ish, or maybe right here-ish, we're just going to be passively collecting cactus. So now, anytime we need to dye any wool or concrete powder or terracotta green, we'll have it just ready to hand. And that's very exciting. As I have said several times in the past, I'm a big fan of just collecting all the things, just because we can. I'm actually, because now we're collecting cactus, I'm going to go down there and I'm going to install a filter on at least a single row of chests. But I'll do that off camera. I won't bother to bore you with that. But, God, I love it. It's just, it really stands out, right? It looks so good from a distance. I got this idea that a clinic structure would have these flat, flush windows that would not be recessed or, anything like this. And I think that it turned out pretty well. I decided to go with the dual layer of stairs, one upright and one inverted, to give us a little bit of 3D effect, and that's also part of the reason why I went with the lanterns sticking out on walls over here. Because the way that this building was coming along was very, very flat, and I felt like it needed some kind of texture. So I put walls on the corners, for instance. It's still pretty plain. It's not the most gorgeous thing in the world, but I really do like it. I think it turned out well, and it really did not take that much time to plan out. So I'm grateful for that, because over the course of the past week, I had intended to do a lot of catching up, because I've been falling so close to deadlines lately that I decided while I'm on vacation from work, I want to spend time trying to get ahead. And that has not happened, and I'm really beating myself up about it. So I hope you'll forgive any lackluster results in buildings. I've really been putting in the work and grinding away at trying to get things designed, but it's just, man, it's time-consuming. So I am happy with this building. I'm sure if I had spent several more days agonizing over it, it probably would have come out marginally better. But marginally better for a massive time investment is not something that I'm interested in doing right now. They can't all be Grand Library, They can't all be Monastery of the Mesa. They can't all be even these apartment complexes. But I'm really happy with it. I love using the new blocks. All the new textures are fantastic. I'd better sleep before something comes out here and explodes me. And in the meantime, our villagers have been smashing their faces. And, oh god, that is unsettling. I hate when they do that. I actually should go get them some more carrots, because I'm sure that they're out by now. There's no hearts. Usually they make hearts right at the very beginning of the morning, right after they wake up, because I think villager breeding is on a 5-minute turnaround, which is how long the day is. And if they make it through any part of the night, if I don't sleep immediately, that shortens their cycle, from when I actually fed them in the morning. Oh, I am running low on carrots. Do they eat raw potatoes? I feel like they don't eat raw potatoes. But I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna take these carrots. Oh man, I gotta go farm again. I really hope everything out there is grown. I have been harvesting today more than the past several months. Hello, kitten. You don't need to be afraid of me. There have been several wildcats, like over on that hillside and just wandering around the apartment complex. Apparently having villagers in the area is going to mean that we're going to have a lot of cats. Let's see if they'll eat these. You guys want raw potatoes? Yes, you do. Is it going to make you bang faces together? Are you guys going to smash your faces? Guys? Yes! Oh, thank God. I have a lot of raw potatoes. Alright, that'll help. That'll help a lot. Make it a baby. Woo! Throwing potatoes and everything. The fact that they're throwing potatoes before they even finish their love hearts, and that they're getting, like, the sad, angry cloud thing, really is not instilling a lot of hope in me. Guys? You gonna do the thing? Did you drop a baby and I missed it? Is potatoes the wrong thing? Why are you guys angry? Do I need to drop carrots? Because I'll do it. I'll drop carrots. Well, they seem to like the carrots more than the potatoes, so I guess I'll just switch my field over to pure carrots instead of half and half. And, hopefully I'll grow enough to keep up with these guys. Oh no, why are you angry? I don't understand. You're wasting my food. Oh no. Oh, I mean, this is why I keep these out here, just in case. I don't know if they need workstations. They never have in the past. Maybe there's too many babies down there already. I should go investigate. I mean, sure, there's a lot of villagers in here, but like, are they not far enough away? Maybe they're not far enough away. I don't know. I thought I made this place pretty deep. Well, I guess I just wasted 2 stacks of food on these idiots. I guess I won't be feeding them again until I've taken some of those villagers out of the drop hole. Well, I guess that's what I'm going to have to do next, because I need a lot of villagers. Because the next 2 things that I have planned require a bunch of villagers. Anyhow, I hope you don't mind if we cut this episode short today. I have spent so much time with villagers today that I want to cry. And, not just today, but for the past several days. I spent almost a week just getting those guys up there. A week. I mean, partially because, I killed 12 of them myself, through pure mistake. But, still, that's a lot of villagers that I've had to deal with. There's like 37 up there. So I've gone through almost 50 villagers just in the past week. Plus all the ones that are currently down in the drop hole. And I'm so tired of it. And we've got more to go over the next month or so. We stocked that place up, and I'm gonna go trade a whole bunch of zombie flesh and try to level those villagers up and try to get them to give me better trades. And now we've got a cactus farm hidden in a really cute little corner clinic, and I'm a big fan. So, I will talk to you in the next episode, and hopefully I will not have to deal with too many villagers for that one, but I'm not holding my breath. Because that's the plan right now. That's what I've got planned, and I'm doing it to myself, and I really don't like it. But, it's what's on the docket, so that's what we'll deal with. Anyhow, thanks for bearing with a short episode. Thanks for bearing with a bunch of music-free replay mod time lapses. You're a real trooper, and I appreciate having you around. I'll talk to you soon, brother. I miss you.